Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. Let's play Ostranauts. Now, in previous episodes, we've kind of fleshed out the reactor, but I discovered I was missing one key component, and that is a deuterium tank. And we're going to need to go try to track one of those down. I kind of did some scouting and I didn't find any easily, so I might have to spend a little more time doing that. But in the meantime, why don't we go ahead and get some of this stuff cleaned up that just doesn't need to be like this anymore. First of all, both of my characters here are in their suits, and that isn't really necessary right this second. So I'm going to kind of start cleaning that up. One thing I did see is that my license is completely revoked right now, so I need to go and replace that. I don't know exactly what happened. I must have sold the wrong one at some point because the one I'm holding is dated June and the game starts, I think, in August or September, right? So really shouldn't be possible for me to have that and have used it. So I would assume that maybe I had picked one up somewhere and accidentally sold the active one. But we will remedy that right now, and we should get a couple of dollars for it. Let's see, 4,000. I'll take it. So there we have it. I think we did look and see. Wasn't there a problem where it was you could buy a license and then immediately sell it for more than it was you bought it for? I think that was the case in one of the couple of previous episodes. So seeing that that's no longer the case, his current permit is only worth 4,000. He just paid 5,000 for it. So I'm glad that's been resolved. And we'll go ahead and make sure we have all of our supplies like oxygen and that while we're here. Power, looking forward to the day we don't need to worry about that anymore, which is coming soon with the prospect of finding the proper tank down here. And I saw this was sitting here and I really couldn't figure out what it was for. We're going to cancel it. I think I wanted to put a light in, but I'm not sure why they wouldn't do it. They weren't auto working towards that end. Let's go ahead and clean up Emma as well. And for Emma, we're just going to drop this on the floor. Don't need it right now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I guess rest of Emma's clothes are in here. Guess we can do that. Hopefully we don't have any hull breaches here happening. It looks like maybe there have been some courses set by AI ships that slam into you again. I saw there was a patch that said it was addressing those. I didn't read it really closely because I hadn't seen a lot of it. But that's always something to be mindful of, is that does kind of happen once in a while. Something goes a little off in a build and suddenly you've got side effects you weren't expecting. Okay, we've got the tools that we want. I think we're just going to do some cleanup here. And what better way to start than picking up the pieces of floor that we no longer need? So I think I'll have Emma do that this time. She's going to pick up the cart, and then we're just going to run around and grab floor pieces. Put them on the cart. Easy enough, right? I could have Chad doing something else. Well, you know what? Let's kind of try to multitask here a little bit. So he's going to come over here, and we're going to uninstall this heater, and we're going to reinstall it up here for the time being. It's not intended to be a permanent location, but we do need to put in wall down here, and we'll probably move it back to close to where it is right now, but we do want the heater installed. So I'm going to go with that. All right, this will have to get uninstalled, and I think for now we'll just reinstall it. Oh, I don't know. Let's put it over here. Yeah, that'll work. And then finally, let's move this around a little bit. Come on. Okay, so what I want to do is we're going to install wall right here. I do not have enough of the 44 series wall, the lighter colored wall, to do that. So we're just going to install generic wall, and it should grab should grab mostly the 55. I think that's the right number. I think it'll mostly grab that. If it doesn't, well, I guess our bad, but we will kind of hope that that's what it goes for. And let's auto task him to get started with that. And then we'll switch over to Emma. There we go. One other thing I just realized, I will have locked myself in here. So Emma's going to come in and uninstall this. She'll be pulling the cart still. I think she's going to come in and uninstall that. I'm really having a lot of, there we go. Okay, good amount of lag there happening. Not enjoying that too much. Oh, and there's a crash. I might have too much going on right now. So let's cancel task. Cancel task. That's seldom good. Okay. Can't get to the rack. Yeah, that's okay. I thought maybe that could be a possibility. So we'll be able to come around here and have Mo Chad do it, and that'll be fine. So for Emma, we're just going to continue to pick up floor pieces. Okay, he's now ready. So let's jump over and do that with him. Over here, uninstall. Unable to comply. Well, that's always wonderful when we start seeing those messages. Okay, so let's cancel task. There we go. And now we will uninstall. Happening. Good. And then we'll reinstall right here because I just want to really just get it out of the way for the time being, and we'll find a forever home for that eventually. Back to Emma. Let's pick up some pieces. And lots of floor here. Okay. I know there's more up here. There's even more than this, though. I'm certain of it. Yeah, there's a few more pieces down here. Okay, well, she's kind of full up, so I think this had some space in it. It does. Oh, we do have 144. Yeah, yay. 144 series wall. We will put 8 of these in here, though, and go back and pick up a little more, and then maybe set that aside for the time being until we know where we're putting the rest of these walls. I think that'll work for now. Now back to over here. Can she not get there? Yeah, considerable amount of strangeness right now. This isn't really reacting how I would think. Clicks are not really registering all the time. Okay, we have some conduit that's just free floating here. Yeah, our reactor is not fully connected at this point, and that was intentional. I do know that. So I'm not 100% sure exactly how I want to proceed here, but we'll get something figured out here in just a minute. Drag this over here and drop it. There should work. Space for the other one, which is sitting over here right now. Okay, taking a breath for a second. We'll pause. So this wall is in. Eventually I want a wall to run, I think, here across, and we're going to move the access hatch into that wall so that we access engineering through a hatch, and then all of this will be engineering. So we're going to have our thrusters, which are in this room right now, but we might add a few more. We will have our intakes for RCS. We will have the huge tanks for the reactor, and we will have a battery array somewhere as well. That's the one I don't want to forget. We want to set that up so that it's redundant, have some backup power just in case we forget or something is going wrong. And yeah, that should be good. I will eventually take this wall out as well. Actually, I'm not sure there's a good reason not to just go ahead and do that now. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll take this wall out. Another order, this time just wall. Uninstall, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those. We will want to come back and deal with the conduit, and the battery and wiring is going to be contingent on where we end up with tanks. So I need to get that last couple of tanks in to really make sure that I can work through that the way I want to. And we should have Emma going to do that work now, hopefully. I'm still paused. That's why it wasn't happening. Okay. So we'll leave this door in. We'll put a wall, I think here. I don't know that we need a whole lot of space up there for the bridge and, you know, the equipment that we want to have quick access to, like battery chargers and that. We'll have a hatch to get into engineering. Engineering is where we'll store a good amount of extra stuff. And I am kind of wondering if I really want to do that. I think it makes sense to go ahead and do that, though. I think I'm going to need that space, and then we'll line the walls with racks and that to hold important things. Okay, well, Chad is up, and we're going to need to move this. I think it's got space that we can put these walls on it that we just took down. It has exactly enough space for those walls. So get that out of the way. And I think we had wall in here. We had nothing in there, so all the better. Wall is the one thing that's really kind of hard to deal with because it doesn't stack at all. You know, even floors, you can put 5 in a spot, and you put floors in crates. You can't put walls in crates. They're big. They're big sections is what it really comes down to, and that's why they work the way they do. Alrighty, these empty, or I don't really remember what we had. Tons of floor, that makes sense. Yeah, we moved all these in here. Okay, yeah. And I think this might be conduit. Nope, still more floor, although there's really not a whole lot in there anymore. Okay, we'll come back to that. We've got all this weird conduit laying around, not doing anything. And I want to make sure that we don't lose anything if we disconnect. So I think we can start, let's move him here and set this down. I think we can pull this out and put it over here. So that's my next step. We'll order an uninstall of conduit from here to here. Already started on it. And then we will do an install of conduit from here to here. I'm leaving this one in for now. I don't know why. I don't think there's a good reason to leave that one in for now. We'll go ahead and take that one out too. I can auto task him to get started on that. Other order. Hope it didn't think I installed conduit there. I don't think it did. Order, uninstall conduit. We'll take this piece out. Now I'm going to leave in this for now because that's that pillar of light. We will put walls here and here though, and then the need for that will go away a little bit. Okay, well we can get going. Oh, well that is done. We did have a light over here that is now gone because come on now. That's what I wanted. There was a light sitting here. There it is. So we will uninstall the light and we will reinstall the light. We'll put it here. That should work. Okay. That works. Not too bad, not too bad at all. I'll take it. Have these two little pieces that aren't doing anything for now. Once we have our tanks and are good to go, then of course we have to run power to this corner and this corner of the reactor core, and we'll be able to do that at that point. So won't be a problem. Will these stack automatically? They don't. They automatically go to the hand. I was hoping they would just stack in the backpack since there was something sitting there already. That'd be a nice quality of life change, but not critical. I think this is tanks. Yeah, nitrogen. So this will probably end up over here somewhere near the intake. I'm thinking a thruster could sit in this corner and be out of the way and nobody would be any the wiser. So we might do that. Otherwise, looking pretty good. just trying to decide where else we might need to make some little changes for now. If a wall is going to go in here, all of this stuff's going to have to move. There's the air vent. I'm probably going to need to move it up. We could put it here. We move these batteries around a little bit since some of this will be getting adjusted. And for now, we can go ahead and uninstall the hatch. I do really like the hatches. I think they're, it's a nice way to be able to seal something off if you need to, but it's minimal. It's not a door that takes up 5 slots. It's just one. Anything can pass through it, which, it is what it is. I like having that, and, it allows you to seal something off that really isn't meant to be traversed a whole lot. So that's pretty cool. We're going to install that. We have that one piece of 44. We're going to put it right here. Hopefully it'll take. Yeah, good. So we're open here through there. This wall just went in. We'll have one here. We'll put an access hatch in that wall. Actually, I think we'll just go ahead and use this line right here. So the battery charger, the O2 alarm, those will all need to move, but that will be fine. We'll have plenty of wall here to support those. And this will have to come down. This will have to come down. I guess no time like the present. Okay. Yep. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. So that'll uninstall. We will need to see about finding some more 44 series wall. I'm going to go ahead and mix and match for now. I noticed that I still have external wall here that's 44. So the thing is, I like to use the 44 for the internal walls and the 55 for the external walls. It's just a personal preference. No requirement. There aren't really differences in the hull strengths or anything like that I'm aware of. I know somebody was kind of asking about that recently. And yeah, I don't know that there's any intentional difference in those or otherwise. I think they're just there for stylistic purposes. Part of the game is to make it look nice, right? It's one of the things we want to do. And otherwise we could just put any floor anywhere, which I guess some people might do that, and that's okay. I'm going to install wall over to here, so I need to move this battery charger. Don't like just unplugging them and not having a plan just because they often get lost. Let's see what's in here. More floor. Go figure. I mean wall. More wall. Go figure. I don't think I could have guessed that. Kind of all we're using those for right now. And let's uninstall it. And we'll install it down here and out of the way. Eventually it will get moved again. I am certain of it, but at least we'll have it. We'll be able to see what's in it. Interesting floor choices there. We'll want to eventually change those. We've taken that wall out. We're leaving this wall in, and I'm okay with that recess there because that allows these pumps to be there. And yeah, that's not a problem at all. So yeah, we'll take this battery charger and we're just going to move it up to here for now. Right there. So we'll have that guy in there. We can put wall all the way to here. Going to need to move this. And I'm not being very efficient right now. In fact, I probably should set Emma to, did Emma, no, Emma's sleeping. Okay, I probably should set Emma to go relax and allow her to hang out outside. Let's see if I can do that. What time is it? It is 4:46. So I'm sorry, 2:46, 14:46. Emma, you have free time for the next hour. We're just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to let her open airlock so she can go out if she wants. And she's unable to move because she's unconscious. There we go. And then we'll auto task her and jump back to chat, and Emma can go have fun for a little bit. Maybe. Looks like they're blocked. Don't like that. There we go. Okay, they're blocked again. They're relaxed. Okay, let's pause for a second. They're hungry. We can feed them real quick. Let's do that. And then maybe I'll walk them out to the, oh, we're going to want to take their helmet off just in case. I'm really happy to report that I've heard that that bug has been fixed. It was mentioned. We talked about it in previous episode or two, that one of the major changes was fixes to when they go into a vacuum and when they put their helmet on. I need to buy some food, don't I? But the long and short of it is I'm still a little nervous about that. I've killed off way too many crew members by not taking their helmet away from them. So let's see what happens here. Cancel action, inventory, pause, because I don't want her to walk off while I'm doing this. Also, there's a little bit of defense strategy here, and that is if she doesn't have her equipment and she does disappear, I don't lose the equipment. So that's a piece of what I'm thinking too. I'm going to leave the torch on her. I have a lot of torches actually, so we'll not love losing $40,000 worth of equipment, but it won't be the end of the world. So I did notice this earlier. I was having trouble with Emma going through doors and going through the airlock. I have to manually keep clicking to get it out. And okay, so now it looks like it's in good shape, but it would not do that even though I had turned off the restriction on airlocks and disembarking in that. So I'm not 100% sure if that's a newly introduced bug with those other changes or what's going on there. Maybe it's intentional that you have to force them through doors. Chad will do it, I think. I think he just will walk right out here if I tell him to. Oops, that was Emma though. Let's auto task Emma. Computer should have known who I was talking about, right? Yeah, see, so he won't do it either. You have to kind of double click. Click once to open it and click a second time to get them moving. They'll come back in okay, I think. Yeah, it's just leaving. So, and now he's doing it fine. I don't know. That's interesting to me. We'll see what happens in the future with that. Okay, I've got some cleanup to do here. That's pretty obvious. I think I'll go ahead and do that offline and try to find a ship that we can go and exploit for its deuterium tank. That might take a little bit of time. Like I said, I kind of did some scouting, didn't find anything. So just didn't want an hour of wasted video time of me just skulking around the universe here. So we'll come back, and when I find something like that, we will continue to finish this build out. We'll make some decisions on our flip and what we want to name it. And if you have any suggestions, drop those in the comments. I don't know what I'm going to go with. I have actually an idea. There's a couple of names that came to mind, and we'll talk about that in the future. But it'll be an honorarium because we're going to sell the ship. So I don't know. We'll maybe see that ship in the world at some point when we do that. I don't know. We'll have to check that out. But I think that's going to do it for today. Thank you for your time. And until next time, fair travels.